Good morning. This morning's going to be a little bit different. We're still talking about this mini series on time management and becoming a master of time, or working well with time, making it your friend. And the reason this is going to be different is because I'm gonna talk about just a bunch of different tips on how to get quality rest. The more we are rested, so again, just a quick reminder, our brains are kind of pigs for fuel. They burn up way more fuel than other parts of our body in comparison to how big they are. And how much our brains weigh. So the people who get a lot done are able to rest their brains in a positive way. Procrastination, so again, cat videos, wasting time, Netflix movies, that's not real rest. It's not rest. Our brains are actually engaged. They're offline in some way, but they're engaged in a way where they're not thinking about the troubles that we have for the moment because they're focused on something else. But it's not resting. It's still burning up juice, okay? So we actually get a little more tired. Now I've got a bunch of tips here. Let's see if I remember them off the top of my head, because I was just kind of going, what are the top tips I give people? Number one, give technology a rest. Give your brain a rest from technology. Technology is built. Your phone, your computer, all technology is built to engage with us. The more we can separate us from technology, the less waves, radio waves, sound waves, other electrical or other energy waves are running through us, the more our brains will naturally rest. So give yourself technology breaks at various times. You can do this throughout the day. I make sure, and I rarely recommend, don't take your phone to bed with you. The room is for sleep, sex, and sickness. It's not for phones. Actually, there have been studies done where people who put away their phones, who never brought them into the bedroom, actually have a far better sex life, simply because they're more focused on each other. Okay, if you're not playing on your phone, doing whatever, texting, you could more likely be sexting, right? So maybe try out some of those techniques, but give yourself a break from technology, at least in the evening, which leads to my second point. Make sure you protect your sleep. Sleep is sacred. Make sure you get restful sleep. Do whatever you can to get restful sleep. You will be far more useful throughout the day. People who have sleep apnea, who have other sleep problems that they don't take care of, end up having far less effective days, okay? Thirdly, long term, make sure you take quarterly retreats. Make sure that you take time away from your schedule to think and to be. Now, typically when I do this, I go out to a retreat center. It's off in the middle of nowhere. There's not even cell phone coverage. So it's a good break from technology, but I'm able to simply think. There are no distractions. And the first day is kind of weird for me all the time when I go there, because there's so much going on in my mind, but it slows down over the course of a few days and ends up being brilliant for me. This is why I go backcountry camping and other things as well. Another thing you can do to take a break is more short term, and that is take breaks throughout the day. Just take breaks throughout the day. Make sure that you have little mindfulness breaks. Get your headspace right. We've talked about the Pomodoro technique. Well, if you're going to have 5 minutes off, maybe take 5 minutes to just rest. Close your eyes, breathe in a few times, get some oxygen in your body, and then fill it with life. The other thing you can do is make sure that your mornings, again, coming from evenings, and sleeping well, make sure your mornings are set apart for you so that you enter the day in a restful state. I found that if I get up at least 2 hours before I need to do anything in the day, and that space is dedicated to me simply getting my mindset right, then I am useful to other people and I'm far more effective. So many people I meet are always in a rush for everything. They're late for everything. They're in a rush for everything. Well, that's extra stress. You don't need that in the mornings, okay? These are just a few of the tips that I see that help for people around me all the time. Is there anything else? I'm going to just look at my notes here really quickly. Oh yeah, social media. So emails, social media, this is on the technology standpoint, but it's in a different way. So not just your phone or whatever, but social media sucks life from us. Make sure that you spend time thinking about you and what you want, not about just, again, social media is filled with the crap ideas, the garbage ideas from millions of other people. Yes, there are good ideas. Yes, you can filter out some. Some are better than others. So Twitter, it might be better than Facebook or whatever, but social media in general is a cesspit, okay, a cesspool. It's just a place to go that doesn't add a lot of value to our lives. This is my personal opinion. With that, emails, other things like that, emails, texts, make sure that you are taking breaks from that. So we've talked about time blocking and about how you can protect those times when you turn off your phone, or put it on silent at least so you don't see anything. Turn it upside down so you cannot be interrupted by it. The more we have an ability to rest from that, the more we can focus for a period of time. Now, some people ask, well, what do I do about emails, Mark? I still have people that depend on me for this. Great, that's fine. Make sure your mornings are dedicated to you and the most important work of your day. And then at 11 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. before lunch, take some time. Answer your texts, answer your emails. If people wait an hour or two, most of the time it makes zero difference. Zero difference. And then again, after your workday, maybe around 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe at that time you can engage with emails and texts and those kinds of things again. Make sure that they're at set periods of time. And you can even set this up in really unique ways. You could set it up by having, I did this for a long time, and I had comments from it all the time. If you sent me an email, you'd get an email back that says, hey, I check my email once a day. I will respond within 24 hours. Thanks for understanding. I love giving good service to the people who are in front of me right now. If somebody calls you, you can leave a voicemail that says, hey, listen, I typically don't answer my calls during this period of time. I will respond, leave your name and number, or texting. Make sure that you're texting at certain times. People get it. At the beginning, it might be difficult for people to understand, but within a few weeks, people start to get it. And they're like, oh yeah, Mark's just weird. And you know what? I am. And it's fantastic because I get more done in my time than other people do because they're slaves to this other stuff. Now, again, some people are like, well, what about news? What about other things that are really important? News is not important. I have had this conversation with so many people. Usually I'll go to a group of people. I'll be speaking to an organization, and let's say there are 100 people in the room. Then usually like the CEO or the president or the people that are high up in the company are usually sitting quite close to me, and then there's everyone else, right? And it's fascinating. I'll talk about news and how news doesn't matter. Do not waste your time on news. It's filling your mind with things that journalists want to talk about or think about, not what's necessarily important. And it's interesting because when I look out at the audience, usually there are some people that are really upset. You can see they're having a really strong emotional reaction going like, no, you're wrong. We need the news. And when I look at the CEO or the president or the people who are actually quite high in companies or the top salespeople, they just nod and smile. And they're like, yeah, you don't need it. And this is why. The most important stuff you will hear from all the other people in your life. I've never missed a huge event on the planet because I don't follow the news. I've never missed a huge event because somebody else will always tell me. Other people talk about it. So you leverage their time. They can waste 3 hours a day looking at meaningless news sites, and you can pick their brain for 5 minutes and get the meat of it. And then if you're interested, research it. You can. If you're curious about something or you want to learn something more about something, I've got a barber that we've been having great conversations about racism and about what my responsibility can be to make sure that I'm leading a life that is eliminating racism from it and other isms, other prejudice, and I can also help my kids and other people. We're having these great discussions, but it's intentional. It's not a reporter's opinion about something that maybe they've researched, maybe they haven't. It's me focused with a person who I trust, who can think quickly and clearly and well, and we can have these great discussions on. If we are intentional with our rest, it's far better. So here's where I'm going to summarize. If you want to rest well, plan it. Mornings, sleep, lack of news, turning your phone off, all those things. All of that is real rest. Usually, if it's not rest, it's something that's unplanned. So for an interruption from somebody, not restful. Netflix, not restful. Relaxing in the evenings and just kind of vegging out. Those things are not restful, okay? Spend your time in restful activities and you'll get far more done in the other times because we've got the energy to invest in those things. And remember, you've got this.